Hi, I'm King and this is PressPass, the place that offers you tools and frameworks to help you manage your career. And today, getting to know your boss. 4 questions that will help you work together more effectively right from the start. And we're back. Managing your boss or managing your stakeholders is a complex subject. Looking back at all the managers I've had, I've realized how different they've been. They've worked in completely different ways, they've communicated in completely different ways. And often they expect completely different things from their team. So no, this video is not going to offer you one-size-fits-all advice. I don't have it. However, over the course of the years, I've been able to put together a short list of questions that help me and come in handy whenever I get to know a new manager or a new stakeholder, and I want to share them with you. So whenever you're moving to a new job, you're getting to know a new manager or a new stakeholder, they will be useful and you will notice a difference right from the start. And they aren't too difficult. Even after 1 or 2 meetings with a person, you'll be able to answer every single of those questions. And then last thing, if you feel a little bit skeptical and think, Kinga, what are you talking about? Then look at your current team or maybe at your previous team. People you've worked with for a longer time. Do those questions make sense now? Let me know. So let's go for the questions. Question 1. Is your manager or your stakeholder people-oriented or result-oriented? Every single person will have a preference, either for getting things done as soon as possible or for reaching consensus and making sure that everyone's on the same page. And it's really difficult to achieve both really fast. And so here are the questions you can ask. What makes people in this team successful, which we've discussed already in the previous session? Or you can ask people around your manager, what makes your manager successful? And this will help you understand very quickly how they operate. Question 2. Does your new manager or your new stakeholder think in details or do they think high level? And this question will come in handy, especially when you're talking about new projects, new ideas, or where you need help from your manager. How to bring them on board really fast. High-level person will give you a lot of context, little details. Detailed person will give you details in a particular area, but very little context. And the question I love asking here is, what are you working on lately? Or what is your team working on lately? And so the high-level person can tell you, oh, we are working on Q2 strategy. Here are the main goals, here are the main issues. Again, a lot of broad information, but you're not getting the details. A detailed person might say, oh, yesterday I met with marketing. Here are the issues we're having with this team. Actually, let me just brief you on what happened yesterday. And so you're just diving directly into what's happening within this particular situation. Question number 3. Is your new manager or your new stakeholder a toward or away person? Every single person will have a preference. Toward people are typically motivated by achieving goals. Think, increase, improve, obtain. Away people are motivated by solving problems. Cut, decrease, get rid of. And so imagine that you would be pitching a new project to this person. What would you go for? A project that would increase revenue or cut costs? Improve the processes or remove the friction? A process or a new system that will help you hire best candidates or retain existing talent? What would better resonate with the person you're talking to? And question 4, I saved the best for last because that's definitely my favorite. Is your new manager or your new stakeholder a reader or a listener? And this question comes from Managing Oneself by Peter Drucker. It's definitely one of my favorite books, and this is one of the most simple, short, and effective questions, and I love it. And so let's assume that you want to share something with your manager and you want to ask them for their opinion. How would you go about it? If you're working with reader, then the best way is to share, let's assume, a note or an email explaining everything that's happening. Let them read through it, and so they can put their thoughts together and give you a structured answer. If you're working with listener though, it's not going to work. They are not going to read through your emails. The best way is to grab 5 minutes of their time and explain everything that's happening. And they'll be able to give you right on the spot, really structured opinion, how do they see things. I've worked with extreme leaders and extreme listeners throughout my career, and I've seen how frustrating it can be for both parts. If you're a reader and someone asks for your opinion on the spot where you feel like you didn't put your thoughts together, or whether you're a listener and you're receiving tons of emails or content that you're supposed to review, but honestly, you do not understand that, and it's not the way you work. Okay, now that you have the questions, fun part. First, let's take your current manager, or if you're looking for a job, your previous manager. Honestly, you can also use yourself as an example. How would you describe this person with regard to those 4 questions? So are they a reader or a listener, a toward or away person? And then the second part. You've been working on a very important strategic project and you're about to provide a key update to your broader team. You've been working on this update for some time. Let's assume it will be a presentation or a document. And you wanted to ask your manager for feedback. What would they change? What would they think, etc. And so how would you go about asking for this feedback? Take into account the 4 questions and the profile of this person. What are the do's and don'ts? I'll give you 5 minutes right now, and afterwards I will share the profile of my sample manager and the do's and don'ts. Let's do it. And we're back, and I quickly want to share with you my sample answers, the profile of the manager, and how I would ask them for their feedback. And so here's Kate. Kate is people-oriented, detailed, she's a toward person, and she's a listener. And now let's go through it one by one. Because Kate is people-oriented, I would share my update with my key stakeholders for working with me on the project. Do they agree with the recommendations? Do they want to change anything, etc.? Whenever I would be meeting with Kate, I would mention that this update is already confirmed with stakeholders and they are okay with it. 2, because Kate is detailed and we have plenty of numbers in the update, I would really go through them one by one, make sure they are adding up, and make sure, most importantly, that they are aligned to everything we've discussed with Kate before. I know that typically she asks a lot of number questions and she will spot any tiny differences, so I want to be ready for that. 3, because Kate is a toward person, in our summary we are highlighting all the positives of the project. So what are we gaining? We are improving the revenue, we are making the process faster, and we are sharing more information with our key stakeholders. So again, all the highlights, everything that we are gaining, all the benefits. And then lastly, Kate is a listener. So I booked time with her next week and I'm going to walk her through the update and the key questions that I have for her. So I know 30 minutes will be enough for us to go through everything, and I know that she'll be able to give me any answers during this meeting. I will share with her the update before over the email, just as FYI, but I'm not expecting her to go through it or to answer anything. And this is for today. I am so glad that I was able to share with you those questions. I would encourage you to go through them, think about your manager and your top stakeholders, and see how the answers play. And see also how you're working. I think this is really useful exercise to also get to know yourself. And let me know in the comments which question do you consider most useful. Would love to hear from you.